All right, and we're live. Thank you for stopping by the Indie Dave Comics channel. I'm your host, Indie Dave Comics, writer of Oddity, the second most anticipated frog comic on Indiegogo right now. We're here with Cody from Ironverse Comics.
Howdy, folks.
Writer or artist of Jack Irons?
I'm the writer.
Writer of Jack Irons.
Nice.
Yes, sir.
And we also got Scott Payne, who is the
Everybody.
Flux or Chaotic Flux, also on Indiegogo right now.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to talk about their books a little bit later, but right now, the hot topic is these wonderful new Marvel comics coming out. We got the New Warriors. Man, I forgot to put.
I think they're calling. I think all the new Warriors. I think it's new.
The new Warriors.
Because an extra new helps, right?
Always. It's not at all confusing or annoying to say. All right. In the chat, we got Rare Logic, and we've got your friendly neighborhood ninja. Thanks, guys, for stopping by.
Everybody.
All right. So we got these awesome characters.
Awesome.
The New Warriors. Snowflake and Safe Space. I think my favorite is Screen Time.
I can't believe their character names. Okay.
My favorite is Screen Time, who got trained.
Yeah, Screen Time too.
Internet gas.
Internet gas.
My question is, are they going to make weaponized internet gas?
Yes.
Think, that's got to be where it's going.
I can tell you there are times when I'm on my computer and...
Isn't that SJW Twitter now? They just got this gas that keeps them... stuck on the computer all damn day long.
It powers themselves.
Criticizing everybody.
They like the smell of their own gas. So
yes.
All right. So what do you guys think about this new crap? I'm sure you guys love it. I saw this the first time I saw it, and I was like, "This is a joke, right?"
Yeah, exactly. I can't believe it's freaking real. No. It's like they're parodying themselves and kind of poking fun of us at the same time, and I don't know. It's just, and right now this time of the world, the way everything's going on, it's like, aren't they supposed to be making entertainment that is actually going to entertain us and not make us wish that things to uplift us and not depress us more? I just
Marvel doesn't have a directive where it actually has to make any money.
I know, and that's sad.
I can't imagine. It's like, who is this aimed at? It was written by the guy, Kibblesmith is the guy's name. I guess he was a writer for Colbert, for Stephen Colbert.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was. He was one of the writers. I don't know if he still works there, but he was one of the Stephen Colbert writers, and it's like, oh my god, these people.
I love how Marvel's just pulling these people like out of the weirdest places and.
Well, he's got something like 6 Emmy nominations on his record. Not wins, nominations for writing comedy. And they're like, you know what? That's who we want writing superhero comics.
Is it meant to be a comedy? I mean, Deadpool's a comedy, but at one point it was pretty damn enjoyable as a comedy book. But I think most mainstream comedy books don't make it that far.
If it is,
I have no idea. I can see a definite lack of. There's a disconnect between the character designs and if they're going for a parody or if they're going for what, because the character designs are what I really kind of nothing stands out. It's generic and it doesn't fit with their backstories. It doesn't have any gravitas to it. You're doing new characters. I don't understand the bit, except for if they're going for outrage marketing to see if they can get eyeballs on it as much as possible and see if that alone will sell. I have no idea. Again, they have no directive to sell though, so it could just be for the outrage. Just that. Who knows?
And it's not. I don't know how long these things have been in the works. So
exactly.
So I don't know if it's like, all right, we're not going to be selling stuff now because of the virus thing, because comic stores are going to go down the tube.
It's like fuck it, just throw whatever out there and see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. Well, maybe they can get some attention, and I swear that it's like no no news is bad news or whatever. No, there's no bad publicity.
Yeah, no bad publicity.
No bad publicity. And no, this is bad.
Yeah, the timing couldn't have been worse.
Well, I love all the reactions. There's so many negative reactions, like way more than you've seen anything of theirs so far. So I think that speaks volumes. And I don't know if anyone is excited about this book at all.
The funny thing is usually, and I've seen a few of them where they're like, "Oh, look, the incels are complaining again." But now I've seen these people, even like
are they actually going to buy the book?
Yeah, well, now that's the thing is, you get the woke people complaining. The woke side is even going, "This is crap."
Nice.
Yeah. You're making us look bad.
Marvel, you finally went too far with everybody.
Nobody on either side likes these characters in this book.
But everybody knows about them, and that's what I'm kind of, that's interesting. I don't know.
They're definitely getting the attention. It's all over Twitter.
Yep.
Every one of the, the regular reviewers, the YouTubers, all of them.
It's like a train wreck. People are going to talk about it,
They all came out. Yeah. I don't know that sells books, though. I
don't think so. I think that's been proven again and again. But it markets books, and the marketing team gets their money maybe off of eyeballs and analytics more than sales. Who knows, though? I'm again, it's a very confusing situation. It certainly isn't something that's rejuvenating comics at a time when it really needs it. That's for sure.
It's like poking people in the eye. That's exactly what it seems like to me. It's like, oh, we gotta do something. Poke them in the eye.
Notice me.
Got your attention?
Yeah. It's like, well, yeah, you got my attention, but holy crap, is that really necessary?
Yeah, it's a trap. It's screen time. It really is just some guy who can really use his phone quickly. In theory, if somebody could just type real quick, that's all it really is.
You don't have a computer, no problem. I'll just pull it out of my head, It's like, yay.
Then
at a time where everyone's got a cell phone, sure he's saving maybe like a couple of seconds, but it's not much of a
if he could hit people with internet gas and let them see the horror of something, right. Here's all of Faces of Death at once, right. Basically the penance stare from Ghost Rider. That's internet gas. I would be all over that.
Just the fact, it's like
so kind of like an internet version of Scarecrow.
Yeah.
I almost think that's got to be a joke because the internet gas thing just makes no sense in any way.
Yeah,
somebody thought, and I don't even understand how somebody thought.
I mean, is it nanobots? I don't know. A cloud of nanobots that affected him. I don't know.
It's just completely unthinkable.
Somebody was trying to make chemicals out of the internet, or was trying to turn the internet into chemicals.
Did they ever explain Trailblazer's powers? I don't know if they ever did.
She has a magic backpack.
Yeah, from her grandpa that looks all cyberpunk.
Yeah. It's like I don't know. Is it supposed to be ancient?
Yeah, that's the name too, and it looks cyberpunk.
It's got all fancy modern cyberpunk.
That sounds like some 6-year-old childhood fantasy. Like something like Rainbow Bride or something
from the new Jumanji. He could just pull weapons out of his bag. That's what it is.
No, it's called Hammer Space.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Cartoon.
That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Bunny. But he reaches behind his back and pulls out a mallet. That's all it is.
Well, that's what Deadpool does.
Yeah.
And he's way cooler.
Yeah.
He'll pull a freaking Gatling gun out of his back and blow shit away. Way better than I doubt she's gonna pull a Gatling gun out. I'll tell you that. But
then they could call her Trigger Warning.
But why is she called Trailblazer?
I don't know.
How's her name make sense that she has a magical backpack?
I assumed it was because I don't really know their ethnicities because they have general minority ethnicity, and I kind of assumed she was an Indian or something. And
it's
so maybe
super homogenous.
And maybe I figured, maybe it has something to do with her being Native American or something. It's like her greatest enemy is freaking Stairmaster. She's fat door in the that's all she is.
Well, with the angle they're going, then their enemies would also be of a good size, I would assume. So
Yeah, she can see. And Slave Space's power is he can make a shield over someone else who's in trouble.
Yes.
So it's not,
but only if you're in trouble. He can't do it at will. It's
not at will. If
yeah.
somebody else is in trouble, then he can do it.
So if you're bombing his ass, he's just dead.
Yeah, exactly.
He's just like a terrible Green Lantern with nothing but the safety bubble.
He's a stereotypical jock who wears all pink and has pink hair.
Yeah, stereotypical, totally.
Just like every.
I've seen so many jocks with pink hair, in bicycle shorts running around.
Yeah, exactly.
Like all the time.
Who the fuck? Onesie. It's not even
the person who designed the costumes. It's like, what the hell?
That's why the disconnect. If there was creativity with the designs, even but it's almost like there was a mandate to not be creative with the looks. Yeah. There's no playing to the powers. There's no creativity. It's just a simple. This is what they have to look like from maybe a marketing or a very uncreative mind. It's very, very, very odd. The art's good, like in terms of line art. It's decent line art, and the coloring's fine from what I've seen too. And the covers even are kind of nice and go really far to trying and sell these terrible character designs. But it's just
that alone. Like I mean, maybe the artist likes drawing at that stuff, but.
Yeah.
I could imagine you can only draw bicycle shorts so many times before you're like, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah. There's the other one, the vampire guy.
Oh yeah. Twink Morbius. Yeah.
His name is B Negative, and I've heard it like 2 or 3 other people. They were like, I had a character named B Negative when I was in high school.
Nice.
But his whole thing was when he was a baby, he got some kind of emergency rogue blood transfusion from Morbius.
And how does that work? I mean, how do you fuck that up? I mean,
well, here's the thing about that. I'm like, all right,
how do you actually get vampire man blood?
Yeah, and that's the thing. I'm like, who let Morbius be a blood donor somewhere? Like, it's not like he doesn't stand out if he goes and sit in the chair and is squeezing on the wall with the thing. It's like somebody, hey, are you okay, sir? Don't they like have a questionnaire when you walk in the building?
Yeah, I've given blood before. They actually have quite a lot of that, but I don't.
If you came in a Dracula costume,
yeah, you can't just be a random person that walks in. I mean, you could have whatever transmitted diseases and stuff, but
which obviously is what happened here. It was a lot of dereliction of duty.
Really bad nurse said, "Okay, sir, come on in. We need blood."
You're looking a little pale, but we'll give you OJ after.
You really slipped through the
12 midnight, full moon. Right. She's working late. It's time for a blood transfusion.
The deep red eyes did not tip him off at all. Just
no.
maybe this is the darkest blood donor office in history or something.
That totally. When I heard that, I'm like, no, no. That doesn't make sense on any kind of level. Why would
they're really reaching on this one? It's just pathetic.
Why? And who are the main that they kept? I think they kept Night Thrasher, right?
I think they kept them all, and they're all supposed to be like the mentors.
Okay. It's like the Young Justice or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. So they're all supposed to be the mentors, and this is the new generation.
They're like, what the hell are we doing?
So it is the all new Warriors.
These kids, of all kids.
The plot is, I guess they passed some law that says you can't be superheroine if you're a teenager, if you're under a certain age. So, but they're gonna do it anyway, and they're gonna do it under the guidance of the new warrior, of the old new warriors.
The guys who blew up and started the first Civil War.
I love the abundance of different types of heroes in the Marvel universe and teens.
Yeah.
There's got to be lots of teens out there with superhero abilities in the Marvel universe, and they pick these guys. I know
mutants are a thing.
Thousands of probably people out there, that have way more cooler powers and definitely better costumes and and names. But
holy crap, we got Mike Miller. Hey, how's it going, Mike Miller, in the chat?
Hey.
I think he was talking about the same thing on his show just an hour ago.
That's cool.
Makes sense. Mike... It's interesting. Again, execution. I always want to give benefit of the doubt till the thing's out, and again, but timing wise, with comic shops going low, this is not going to sell well. Period. Even if it was, a hit, everybody's after it. I don't. It was not the not good timing with even movie studios saying, yeah, let's put things back a little bit. Might have been wise, especially since they're not mandated to make money. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, Mike says it's got to be a troll. Then all of Marvel's got to be. I think like when they set. My feeling is when they set the clocks ahead that they must have pulled down a month on the calendar, and they were like, "Oh, it's April 1st. We got to put something out."
I didn't think of that.
No, that would at least be a blessing. Like after the first, we're like, sorry guys, this book's not coming out. We were just fucking with you. That'd be awesome. But
if they had done that on April 1st, I would have been all about it. I would have been like, Marvel, you got me. That was great. That was a great joke. But I mean, the timing, it doesn't make any sense. The stores are doing terrible.
I barely just saw Scott Snyder from DC finally kind of slyly say something about supporting your comic shops and doing pull lists. Finally something from DC, but like only indie comic publishers have been saying anything to try and support comic shops, and it's been kind of crazy.
Is like talking about, hey, support your local
food takeout. I know. Oh my god.
Do they sell comics at these restaurants? His whole thing, he's a foodie.
Yeah, it's terrible. I just finally, even like somebody like Scott Snyder, Jim Lee hasn't said anything. Image was all over it. They were retweeting and still are comic shops that are working out, pull lists or curbside pickup and all of that. Dark Horse, Vault. Scout, I think, said something. I mean, basically all of indie is aware of this, and it's impossible if we're aware of it that the bigger guys are just not hearing this constantly.
So the bigger guys have books that are in Walmart, plus they're being held up by the movies, and Disney's obviously holding up Marvel. So they've got, and that's why they can get away with poking people in the eye still.
What? I mean, I wonder how much they're just still in denial, or both. The investors that are telling them you can't admit that it's doing that bad, that we're hurting the industry that bad, we're hurting shops that bad, hush hush and all this.
Well, I'm wondering, since the movies make so much money, I'm wondering if Marvel Publishing is small enough where when they do their annual meetings, the shareholder meetings or whatever, people just kind of gloss over it because it's so small. It might be a little bit of small amount.
Like everyone gets an hour, they get like 5-10 minutes at most to talk about their stuff.
Or they get the sheet with all the all the different things that Disney owns. Oh, we own this company and that company and this and that. ABC is doing well and blah blah, and they kind of Marvel's like a little paragraph in the corner, the publishing. And it's right next to the big whole page where they're making movies. Oh, look, Marvel movies made $1 billion, and then we're putting out crap for comic books. And then look, ABC, you get this.
That's the thing too.
With probably gloss over it enough.
Yeah.
Where maybe the shareholders aren't putting up enough of a stink.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing too that bugs me is how so they're high and mighty on their movies right now, making $1 billion. Comic book industry is doing crap, but they're now pushing, these characters that aren't selling into the movies and such, like Captain Marvel. Miss Marvel's about to get her own show on Disney Plus, and now that I'm sure eventually, I guess Snowflake and Safe Space they'll try to do a show or movie with them, and it's like at that point you gotta imagine then that's when the movies are just gonna go completely down, but they because I've heard that before where they're making all these weird characters. These woke characters to eventually force them into the other forms of entertainment to then make us like them, hopefully, which obviously isn't going to work, but that's their plan. So I've heard is to kind of force these guys for us to finally buy into them, finally pay for it, to see the movies, to watch the shows, play video games. Miss Marvel's now being shoved into the new Avengers game. And it's just like they don't want to give up, is what it seems like. I don't know what's the end of the line. I guess maybe eventually when they just go totally bankrupt and everything, then they'll finally be okay, now we fucked up enough, let's stop the shit. But I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah, I think Marvel's publishing is either going to crash or they'll straight up just license everything out. I don't think they'll have a quote unquote bullpen anymore.
But what if this this does infect the movies and the games and everything else so much that even that just plummets?
You mean there's the games and the movies and stuff?
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh yeah, I guess if
if they keep messing up with Captain Marvel and what have you. I mean, I know Captain Marvel made a billion, whatever, but there's still no confirmation that it wasn't.
I'd like to think they're trying to keep that on a short leash. Although I think the Captain Marvel thing was kind of an experiment because you don't hear all that many rumors about Captain Marvel anymore. For Captain Marvel 2. I can't remember. There was one I heard.
They finally announced it. I heard recently that it is happening. But I do think the reason why they're keeping it so hush hush is because of all the bad publicity and negativity towards the last one or the first one. But I don't know. I've heard they're going to go through with it, but it's not I don't think it's this phase. We're on phase 4, so it'll be phase 5, and I think there's a reason behind that too. Why are they holding off?
Everything's getting pushed back now too. Like Shang-Chi, they're not filming it anymore, and so that's gonna be because of the virus.
Or they just
well, I think.
It was that because they're not traveling. You can't travel even was it Falcon and Winter Soldier? They just got on location in whatever country they were to film, and then they just shipped them right back and said we're not filming it anymore till whenever. Right. And so all of that's besides the comics taking a hit from the shops closing. Movies are taking a hit because the theaters are closing.
Oh yeah,
everything's just like this is a brunt on media and luxury facilities.
Well, that's another interesting topic you bring up too. I think where since they're getting to the point where like Disney just lost, what I heard, somewhere around $7 billion from what's happened so far with the virus, and they're expected to lose at least another, I think, 20 billion or something like that, some crazy number, before all this is done. So
that's usually in jobs, the grips, and that's and then that's less people to buy into the comics or watch the movie later that they were part of.
When they drop that much, and they have no more room for risk, no more room for let's make more woke movies, let's make whatever weird stuff that people are kind of buying into, but not enough, most of it's not doing well. So when they have no room for risk, will they just say, okay, we need to rethink everything? Will we finally listen to the fans and, do the right thing in terms of storytelling and character development, or continue down this path of, let's just keep going and see what happens, and on the last whatever amount of money they can risk.
They put a little bit of pivot. They started to slightly pivot recently before this whole new level. With like X-Men was the start of pivoting. They got Jonathan Hickman back. They actually put some money on some talent to plan something out.
That was very nice to see.
Wolverine just came out with Benjamin Percy. People are really liking that. But who knows now? I think number 2 was dropped today or yesterday, so I don't know how that did with all this and the comic shops being closed. It's a trip. They pivoted a little bit compared to say a year ago. A year ago they weren't pivoting at all. Their foot was definitely on that with like West Coast Avengers and Captain Marvel was being really pushed.
Domino.
Domino was being pushed, which again, if it's quality, it's great. And if there's audience and it's selling, even better, because that means you get to make more books. But somehow they've decided that making more books and making more quality books isn't as important as delivering a message or a showing a solidarity or maybe just listening to corporate. Who knows how far it goes? I really have no idea.
This might be literally a virtue signal. Where, obviously it's virtue signaling, but it might be straight up like, okay, we have to try to keep them off our back. We have to try to keep these crazy creatures off our back. So we're gonna every once in a while put out this book, and we'll make a big deal about it. And then they can't because look, we got this character we just came up with, and they're they or they're they them, and they're they're super woke, and they're non-binary. That's what they did with
Snowflake and
Snowflake, yeah. No, Snowflake for sure is not non-binary. Oh, she's they're non-binary, and so we're getting your characters in there. We're also going to be working on, we can continue to make our decent stuff and try to improve that. But here's a little bit of, pandering for you. And I don't even think they're doing the pandering right. Because even those people are like, oh, no, that's stupid.
Well, those people never be pleased because they really focus on definitions and they define the definition. So you can't, it could be the same definition between 5 people, but another 5 have 5 different ones, and that's 6 you're trying to please, and you're not going to get any of them perfectly. So again, you should be focusing on artistic integrity, quality, and trying to push maybe the messages you want, but in a way that isn't so hammering and involved in the marketing and involved in the character designs and involved in just everything about it. It's marketing identity politics, and it's just pointless. It really is. Again, you can't please anybody when everybody's unique.
Yeah, exactly. That's such a good point. It's because you can say, okay, look, you guys have been screaming for this non-binary character, so here it is. And what they'll come back with? Well, how come it's not this minority group? How come it's ableist? They come up. Somebody comes up with something, and then they're like, okay. Look, we have this new non-binary character in a wheelchair.
You remind me of the Mulan movie that I also got delayed, but you saw. Obviously, I could tell by the sound of your voice you heard that where they the cast is Asian or whatever, but then behind the camera they're like, it's not diverse enough. I remember when they said the director actually apologized for being a white woman. I was like, what the hell?
On that whole thing too, and it's all just bowing to China too, yet not enough. They can't have magic, they can't have any kind of spirituality in it. It has to all be about service to the state. So that's what Mulan's going to be doing, and you can't have a love interest either within that service because it breaks the dedication to the state, and it's just
the whole reason they took out the love interest was because since she was pretending to be a guy. The implication was that he was gay. The love interest would have been gay, even though in the cartoon, they didn't hint.
They even dress like women too, which is great.
Yeah. Like, oh well, he was like he just respected him as a warrior or whatever.
Yeah, the old cartoon was fun, but I don't know what the fuck they're doing with this. They just said fun out, but that's this thing with all of this, with the entertainment industry, with the woke entertainment industry, like you were saying, a few minutes ago, it's all about the politics and diversity and whatnot, and first and forefront, and fun comes at number 5 or 4, in terms of the levels of their importance, and it's just what's the point of even watching or doing whatever the entertainment is anymore, playing a game or whatever.
It can't be about fun anymore. It has to be about, my feelings.
Yeah.
It has to be about making me. I got to be on the screen. I have to see me on the screen. And that's what. I look. I'm a fat white guy.
That's the weird thing.
On the screen. I see me in the mirror today.
That's another thing that tripped me out too. When people say, "Oh." When for instance, I think it was Sci-Fi Channel did a thing on Star Wars recently, a documentary about people who, when they watched the old Star Wars, they couldn't relate to the film because they didn't have their race or sex or whatever in the movie. It's like, who thinks like that? I've never once sat there and watched. I've watched I don't know how many movies with black people, black comedies or whatever, and not thought, man, I can't relate to this film because there's not a white guy in it, or it's just. I don't understand these people who think like that. There's seriously something wrong with these people. If that's what your first labels in their mind when you're watching something or whatever the entertainment is, enjoying it, I just don't know what to say. Just
it's that skin deep focus, because once you remove that, anything artificial, your genitalia or where you like to stick it, it's just you really are limiting the imagination you get to play with. And it's insane. It's really divisive. It causes so many problems, and it's very anti-comics. Comics have always been about hope or coming together to break a bigger problem down into things that we each individually can help with. And yet that's now it's more about, are you the right color? Yes. Doesn't matter what power you are. Are you saying the right things? And,
well, the right color for the person who's paying attention to the time. If this is if it's a let's say a Hispanic character, but the person who's paying attention to is Asian. Oh no, I can't relate to that. Where's my Asian guy? I got to find my Asian woman. It's just I don't.
If you can't empathize or understand the feelings or what's going on with a character on this movie screen because they don't look like you, the problem isn't with the movie screen. The problem is with you.
Exactly.
Or the writer. But yeah.
Well,
that's the only other caveat. You can everything can be executed right, but that's not the emphasis. It's more executed instead of right correctly. If you can get that difference.
It has nothing to do ultimately in that situation. It's got nothing to do with the writing, because even if you write the character poorly, if the only reason you can't relate to them is their skin color, that's
the only reason. Yeah.
I mean, I can understand not relating. You can say, well, no normal person would do what that character's doing, and I don't understand the motivation, and I don't understand, what the writer was getting at. That's different. But if it's straight up because, oh, that character's skin color is different from mine, I totally can't relate to that.
Yeah, it's down to this almost approved form of racism. It's where you have to draw the lines and then put them in this specific box, and then that's how things need to be, and I need to be represented there. It's a tough time in our culture, and hopefully it's tough because it's growing pains, and not tough because we're screwing it up badly.
Yeah. All right, the Geekery Barn says, I liked Black Panther enough to use it in a lesson plan that I was doing for a sophomore English class, and she was teaching at the time.
T'Challa's great. I love that character so very much, and the movie really pissed me off.
I didn't like the movie that much. I liked it pretty well, but mostly because I like Killmonger a lot. I thought they did a good job with him.
Yeah.
He was a really cool villain. Yeah.
There were just enough cringe moments in there that was kind of like, that's racism. I don't care what side it is. That's what you're doing. Barking another person down simply because he doesn't look like you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what got me, is I kept seeing that overt, like, the only reason you don't like this person is because you're not looking at them as a person. You're looking at them as a bag of meat. The wrong color bag of meat. It's so weird.
All right, we're gonna talk. Let's see. Let's go over Scott's book real quick. Let's see. I'm gonna pull it up. If I can figure out how to share. There it is. Share my screen. We're gonna talk about. Let me see here. There we go. I know it's a little abrupt, but let's talk a little bit about Chaotic Flux. I know you got to get going here in a little bit. So tell us all about Chaotic Flux.
Okay. Chaotic Flux is a superhero-based team, very similar to the styling of the 90s X-Men. And it centers on a team called the Crimson Flame, who unite in the future to rid the world of mutant abominations taking over called Dread Fiends. The Dread Fiends are these kind of mutant. They're a food source that humanity had created to sustain humanity in the future, as lots of global events, catastrophic global events are happening, as well as a great war fighting for what land is still usable. And so this creates for a lot of great shortages of resources in this timeline, particularly in food. And so they create these creatures as they create them through gene splicing, splicing different organisms, different animals together to create something that can sustain itself in these harsh elements, but also reproduce at a rapid rate. But then they start to mutate on their own and turn against humanity. They have this insatiable appetite where they have to constantly feed to sustain themselves. So they start to turn against man, and they pretty much try to devour everything in sight. Excuse me, anything that they run across. And when they do feed on something, they can then mutate themselves. They can self-mutate. When they feed on something, they can use it as a biofuel. They'll break it down, and that will allow them to, for instance, make themselves bigger, stronger, faster, wings for flight, even full transformation, whatever they need to get to the upper hand in battle. The leader of the Crimson Flame is an exosuit pilot called Soren, and he fights this awesome exosuit called the Reaper. There's also a big transforming AI mecha named Strife, who can turn all sorts of different things. And then there's Zathara, which you're seeing now on the screen. Zathara is this light blue-skinned alien hybrid. She's able to form these crystal-like structures at will. She can form all kinds of different types of melee weaponry out of them. A lot of times she'll use it to make these kind of blade arms she fights with. She also make throwing daggers. She'll throw. She'll make axes. All kinds of different types of melee weapons. You'll see her use her abilities in interesting ways as the series goes on. There's a fun moment in the first issue where she turns her leg into a giant blade and uses it in a really awesome way. The first issue gets into her backstory, how she's been hunted down most of her life by an organization called the Purging Hand, who's been trying to wipe her kind out for years, as well as it gets into her first run-in with the Dread Fiends. You can get issue 1 in this campaign as an add-on to any of the issue 2 perks. And then in issue 2, it jumps into a little bit more into her past, but it focuses mainly on a moment where she is in a race against time to save an innocent family from becoming a Dread Fiend's next meal. So it's a very tense, very dramatic story that takes place in issue 2. Actually, the story throughout is very tense, very fast-paced, lots of action. But there's also a lot of great deep science fiction, as well as some fantasy elements that come in later, but not so much in the first 2 issues. So mostly focuses on the sci-fi in the first 2. It focuses a lot on world building, and there's also, I should say, too, in the Purging Hand. In the present time, during issue 2, they have become cyborgs. The leader of the Purging Hand is Thraxus Prime. And in order to for themselves to adapt and become more able to survive in this harsher present timeline, he decides. Well, I'm sorry. There's an accident that happens to him, and the organization turns him into a cyborg through nanotechnology. But once this happens, he's able to control these nanobots, and kind of in a vampiric sense, he can infect others and turn them into cyborgs as well, and under his control. Well, he turns the entire order of the Purging Hand into his cyborg slaves, his soldiers into his cyborg slaves. And you get a good taste of them in this second issue. You get introduced to Thraxus Prime and one of his main henchmen, and you get a little bit of what they're up to. But yeah, so it's very serious, but there's some comedy here and there, but it's mostly a dark, serious science fiction with great horror elements. Mainly the Dread Fiends. There's these awesome, horrific creatures that we've designed. As you can see there on the screen, they have these tentacles they reach out with, these 2 tentacles that come out of their mouths, and they'll grab their prey and then pull it in and devour them. So yeah, it's if you enjoyed the 90s style X-Men, particularly the Age of Apocalypse storyline. It's my favorite X-Men storyline. And in that storyline, if y'all are familiar with that storyline, but the X-Men are pushed to absolute limits in that storyline in terms of their abilities and their mental states, as well as their ability to work as a team. This story is highly influenced by that. All these characters are pushed to absolute limits because of the Dread Fiends, as well as other horrible things that are happening in the world that they have to help to save the world from all these things. And it's also highly influenced, of course, by Resident Evil. The monsters of Resident Evil are greatly influenced by the Dread Fiends are greatly influenced by them. This twisted storytelling of Game of Thrones. There's a lot of great surprises in the storyline, a lot of great twists and turns. as well as the diverse team styling of Battle Chasers. If you are familiar with that team, they too had a big robot in there. There is a huge swordsman with a giant sword, and there was a girl with these gloves that made her pretty much immortal. So that kind of diversity in terms of team is influenced greatly in this book. So yeah, if you're into those storylines, those types of stories, there's other things influenced too. Gundam's a bit of an influence. Transformers is an influence. I love these things. I've grew up with all these different things. Lots of different video games and whatnot are influenced in here, and different comic books and what have you. And I just love sci-fi, horror, fantasy, kind of storytelling. And I wanted to make a story that incorporates all these elements in a new and interesting way. And so I created Chaotic Flux. I should say too that right now we're trying to hit the first stretch goal before the So the first stretch goal, everyone gets a really nice, awesome looking bookmark. I actually have it right here. This is the proof copy I gotten of there it is, of the bookmark. It has great artwork from the book on it. It has a nice synopsis too of the book on the back. But that's if it hits 5,000, which we're almost there. And then 6,000, everyone gets an additional art print for those who back it at the package level, so above just the book itself. And then 9,000, I was going to do a nice print where all 6 characters from the Crimson Flame are in it, because there's also Gyarados, who's an 8-foot tall swordsman with a giant transforming sword, Pagan, who's a plant-based mage, as well as Nalari, who's a fire-based mage. They're not in the book yet, but they're coming soon. I'm working towards those characters. I didn't want to get everybody so much at once. I wanted to build all the characters' backstories up and stuff before we get them all together as a team. But I don't think we're going to hit the 9,000, unfortunately, because what I'm planning to do is once the 4 days is up, I'm going to go into demand, and after I go in demand, as soon as so the book is finished, which should be finished next week, send it off to the printer, get the books back in 2 weeks, and then that's when I'm going to cut off the funding for the stretch goals in order to make shipping the books out easier, because it's going to be too complicated to ship out the rewards on top of the initial fulfillment. So I'm going to cut off at that point. But I'm pretty sure we're going to hit that first stretch goal. I'm pretty confident in that. And so everybody will get the bookmark at least. Might hit the second stretch goal, but not sure in the 4 days. But yes, so at least everybody get the bookmark. The bookmark's really nice. And yeah, I'm working on issue 3 now. The script is nearly done with that. I'm making some changes a little bit here and there. But I'm hoping, or we're shooting for issue 3 to release either late spring or early summer, or the campaign to go up at that time, I should say.
Cool. I'm going to be honest with you. You lost me when you said she had blue skin. I just can't relate to
blue. I mean, what the heck?
Yeah.
How can you expect anybody to read a comic book and relate to
who on earth has blue skin? What am I thinking?
I couldn't get the Smurfs. I just never clicked. The one of them's got a beard. I don't have a beard. It's tough.
That's cool. No, at least you got funded this time. Was it last time you didn't get funded, but you still delivered all the books, right?
Yep. Yeah, a month after the campaign ended, I did fulfillment. Everyone got their books a month after, and I started as soon as the campaign. I got the books, and anyway, yeah, everybody got their books a month after the campaign ended. And I mean, like, the last person got their book like right at the last like day of that month. And same thing is going to happen with this one. As soon as the pages are done, which should be next week, then it's off to the printer. And I'm using Mix'em, which they do 2-week turnaround. So I'll get the books in 2 weeks after that, and then they're shipping out to everybody.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty
right
cool.
On. It's gorgeous art and lettering too, by the way.
Thank you.
It's very. It was pleasant to look at, and I mean that's just the first thing you want to look at with indie comics, And yours, it stands up. I really am interested, especially with the influences. Yeah, you can tell the X-Men Apocalypse vibe very much. That's one of my favorite runs too.
Great!
I ended up with a whole. with another guy's collection, and he had all of Age of Apocalypse, and man, did that make my day.
Yeah, I had gotten a bunch of them back in the day, but I wasn't able to get all of them. And then about, I think it was like 4 years ago, I had to go and buy all the trade paperbacks, so I have now the whole collection, and it's one of my most prized possessions.
Right on.
But I did get that chrome cover of the first one, the Alpha. I don't remember that, but they did a chrome cover, and I have that, and that too is one of my most prized possessions. That's another thing. I'm a big fan of chrome covers, metallic covers. I have a metallic cover in this campaign. I did one of the last campaign as well. So for all those out there who are big into the metallic covers, this is definitely a book to get.
Oh,
all right. We have 4 days left on this one, and I don't know how much time yet. We'll go real quick over the tiers. Let's see. Deluxe package is $25 for something called deluxe package. That's cool as hell. What's that?
Right?
You get the PDF, you get a signed book and trading cards, and you get an art print for $25. That's a good deal.
And the art print is going to be of the cover art that you're looking at right there. It just won't have any of the logo or anything. It's just going to be the cover art.
That's cool. Let's see. PDF's $5 for those of you overseas. That's a good deal.
And if you get the PDF of issue 2 and issue 1, it's only $8, and that's 54 pages of story. 54 pages.
Nice. You can get the book. This is a physical book, I assume, for $10, which is that's another sweet deal.
And if you add issue 1 on that one, it's $25 with shipping. So shipping included for $25.
Guys, this is a good. If you haven't picked up on this book, the art's really cool. It sounds like a cool story, and you're getting it on the cheap. That's pretty cool. That's a good deal. $15, you can get it autographed. Let's see, metallic cover for $20. Let's see, metallic cover autographed. Let's see, metallic deluxe package. What's that all about? Let's see, we got the PDF for number 2, signed metallic cover, metallic trading cards. There you go, and the metallic art print.
Yep,
that's the one to get right there, guys. If you're looking to get this book and you get the $35 to spare, this is the package right here. Let's see, both covers autographed, $35. Let's see, collector's package. What are we getting with that? We get the PDF, get the signed book, metallic cover signed, trading cards, art print, metallic trading cards, metallic art print. There you go. And there's a t-shirt. Look at that.
Yep.
That t-shirt is just badass.
I'm actually wearing the proof of the shirt right now.
Nice.
Nice.
That's a Dread Fiend. I got it the other day. Turned out great.
It looks really cool. Let's see, $75. And you're getting the t-shirt and you're getting the PDF signed books, the trading card. It's the whole deal with the t-shirt. All right. And that one's sold out, looks like. Sketch card.
All sold out.
All right.
Mr. Simon Porthier there. He was a big help there.
All right.
Donating those cards.
All right. So 4 days left, guys. Check this book out. You don't want to miss it. And like I said, the price, you can't beat the price. All righty. Hey, Scott, I know you got to take off. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, good talking.
Yeah. I think it was a pretty good conversation. I mean, that was a lot of fun talking about that. I don't know what the hell you call that thing. I mean, I know what to call it, but
the new Warriors.
Marvel just either stop making comics altogether or completely rethink get your shit together. I don't know. It just at this point, it's like they might as well just be like scribbling on paper and going, "Here you go, guys, enjoy."
All right,
yay!
You'll buy anything. We'll just put a Marvel stamp on it.
Yeah. Oh man, I don't know. Anyway, thank you very much for having me on, guys.
Hey, no problem.
Mr. Dave, nice call to you too, Cody. And bye everybody out there in the chat. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys around.
All right. Hey, thanks again. Take it easy. Let's see. All right. Well, since we're talking about comic books, why don't we talk a little bit about Jack Irons?
Oh, I think I know that one.
All right.
I do.
Let me unboomer myself. Let's see. Remove from stream.
Yeah, you folks are going to get the first closer look at a revised campaign page from yesterday. Got a lot of notes over the first month of this campaign, and hopefully second month will get it done. Definitely been pivoting and trying to make it a better pitch than what I had before. At least I crammed a lot of information into the campaign page before. It's a little bit better now, I believe.
All right, so let's see. We got it up here. Tell us a little bit about Jack Irons. I did buy the first two issues. This one's all three.
Well, it can be all three. It doesn't have to be. One of the tips is, if somebody hadn't heard of my book before and they just see number 3, they might think they just missed the first 2 and can't get them on the campaign.
Yeah.
So I put issues 1 through 3 because you can get them, but this is to fund number 3. That's where the bulk of the funding goes to.
All right, so let's see. Yeah, that's what we're doing with Oddity. We're going to print up a whole bunch of extras for the next one. That way everybody's got the chance to, now you get 2 things to sell. All right.
Exactly.
So let's see. Tell us about Jack Irons.
Well, how can you be the top predator if something you cannot kill? Jack Irons rides again. At the end of issue 2, we introduced a new character, just kind of sitting there ominous. This issue follows that new character and Jack. Jack is, what did I put as the one-line pitch? I believe it's a reincarnated immortal wanders through a galactic Armageddon to find purpose and freedom. That's the one-line pitch. The longer pitch is right below it, and I guess I'll read that for you folks. Let me get to it. Jack Irons, Steel Cowboy, tells the story of a man trapped in 2 kinds of eternity. His mind and soul bears the memories of hundreds, maybe thousands, of past lives, and his current body is unkillable and immortal. Ironverse Comics takes this poor, unfortunate soul and lets him loose in a galactic-wide, weird Western apocalypse. Our universe is fractured into the 4 horsemen's sick whims, a cracked mirror of sentient life's deepest lusts and fears, made manifest in excess. Earth is a reservation kept safe by a corrupt alien government, trying to maintain its fascist control over what free galaxy is left by any means necessary. Humanity lives, cowers, and makes do alongside alien refugees and pilgrims behind the impenetrable walls of New Deadwood. When reality belongs to evil, heroes are inevitable. Welcome to Ironverse Comics. Enjoy the ride.
Right.
So that's kind of it. It is a big universe. It's basically galactic Armageddon if sentient life could rip things into existence that were quite evil, and they would wear a cowboy hat. That's kind of part of it. It's got a Western theme to it to give it that goofy comic vibe and allow us to lean into style while also dealing with some pretty heavy themes, I would say, where especially as we continue working into them. And as you can see there, I love our art quite a bit. It's gorgeous. That's from issue 1. That's page 3 of it. That was actually the page that got our first colorist his gig. He just decided to color that up, and I talked to him, and we worked it out, and he was our first issue colorist. Gorgeous work, Matthias Laborde. He had to step away from coloring for a while because, again, this comic industry is hard to make money in. And he had a family. So we got Stephen Cannon on this page, for instance, who's another wonderful talent. And since there was some time between issue 1's lines and issue 2's lines, the change is more acceptable, I think. I've never really heard anybody who I haven't pointed it out notice 1 and 2 as very different, but it is. It's about 5 years of difference of skill for Maxie's line art, and it's a whole different colorist. But somehow we were able to connect them and keep the style and flavor of the Steel Cowboy, even with all those changes and the time in between it. And it's in my opinion a really, really pretty book. Really pretty and horrific, but pretty.
It's a very stylized look. It's not like super realistic, but it's not like super cartoony. It's got a really cool look to it.
Yeah, it's a neon dust or something because it's got like the Western kind of grit and texture to it. Everything's rough, but it's very bright and vibrant. So it gives it a kind of an otherworldly feel, which is definitely what we need when we're telling a story on another world and another time with an alternate history, and so many different timelines going in together in this character's head that you're following. I think it helps tie it all together.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, what do we got for tiers here? Because you can get all 3 books, and you absolutely should if you haven't got the first 2. Let's see. So we'll look at here your featured tier. It's complete package, and what are we getting with that?
Well, we're getting all 3 digitals and the extras, which last time included a soundtrack and included an extra manga digitally, and concept art. All kinds of crazy stuff is what extras is. It's extra. I want to surprise you folks like we did last time. You get all 3 physical issues. Issue 1 and 2 actually are having exclusive variant covers for this campaign. Frank Martin Jr., who is the colorist on Wolverine right now for Adam Kubert, at least, which is really cool. He's doing the colors for one of the variant covers. Hopefully both. He found us, wanted to work with us. In fact, my icon is his work on Maxie's lines, so you folks have an idea what it'll look like. And in fact, I have a bigger panel down on the page too if folks want to check that out. But you'll be getting a sticker also, which I'm hoping is going to be a holographic sticker. Image of the sticker also at the bottom of the page if folks want to see more. And you're getting one of the 11 by 17 pinups. We have 6 available. I'm unsure if we're going to have you choose or if we'll do random again. We did random last time because it was not part of the package. It was a thank you for folks waiting on us to produce the issues and get them to them. So it was a free pinup last time. This time it's part of the package, and I want to make sure we integrate it properly. But one of them's by Carl O'Rowe and S.E. Tonks. It's wonderful. The Four Horsemen. Another's by Paul Billick, the colorist for Shinobi Sasquatch. J. Paul Sheik, who people might know too, and That Crafty Foxy, who's done like Sporkman and Changeling for Wicked. There's a lot of cool old talent in there that folks are now more aware of than when I had initially gotten those pinups done, which is wonderful. It was kind of part of the idea because I saw good talent, but. Also, so I thought that's a decent deal. So it was $25, and you get that big fat package, and you can get all 6 pinups too in the add-ons if you don't want to worry about if I'm going to have you pick it or give you a random one. You just go into the add-on section, and there's a T-shirt in there too if you want a T-shirt.
Oh, cool! All right, and digital only for $5.
Yep, just the straight digital number 3 before it's released anywhere else. And as soon as the files are done and ready to go, instead of waiting for printing.
All right, and we got the digital package, which is all 3.
Yep, and the extras, of course, which would be the main reason you'd want to get that, unless because the digitals are now publicly available through my publisher as well. So you can get 1 and 2 digitally already. So this is more if you want the extra content that only backers are going to get. And we might actually put the exclusive covers on those versions of the PDFs too. I'm unsure.
All right, let's see. Number 3 in extras, you're getting the digital. You're also getting the physical, plus the sticker and the pinup.
Yep, $10.
$10. Look at that. That's a good deal.
Yeah, a 48-page comic.
Wow, yeah, 48 pages, $10.
Yeah, that's 128 pages for the complete package if you're getting all 3 issues.
Nice. All right, store bundle.
5 of each issue for stores to hopefully resell at a price that stores hopefully can resell, so that we can get the comics into readers' hands who don't know crowdfunding, and get them exposure to Jack Irons. And you'll get all the pinups to put up in your store if you'd like. And yeah,
nice. Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, we need to get
somebody did claim it, so we got one person interested in putting it up. So I was pretty stoked to see that.
Oh, cool! Yeah.
Yeah.
More stores need to be looking at this kind of stuff, and they need to be priced too at the point where they can make.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Though with Marvel doesn't make it too hard lately. I mean, they're charging $4 to $7 for an issue, so it's not too bad when you're printing between $225 and $375. It's possible. It's going to be a thinner margin, but it's doable.
Yeah.
Then we have the steel, which. Not as heavy metal as Chaotic Flux is now. I'm going to have to talk to Scott because he has some good ideas. But I am giving a comic book page metal print with this. That's exclusive to the campaign. And I'm going to be signing them too.
Oh, that's cool. That's awesome.
And they're limited, I believe, to 50 plus the 5. So 55 of them or so are ever going to exist. So hopefully that helps a little bit with the collectability.
Oh, that's cool. That's good for your backers, your good core fans.
Yeah, I think so too.
Look, you're only going to get it on this, even if we go to print and make it on stores, because you helped back us and you helped make this book happen. You're only going to be able to get this here.
Yeah, I did that for previous backers too. If people had signed up for the mailing list, they could get issue number 3 for $8, I believe, with a free metal trading card, which is basically going to be a smaller version of that big comic size print. Basically, I'm going to look at the art that we get in and kind of figure that out. I have a few good ideas, but so that's there too. I actually opened the secret perk up to the public now. So if folks follow me on Twitter at @cowboy_steel, you'll see that secret perk pop up till it's gone. Otherwise, you can't find it on the page. But you can get the best deal on the complete package, plus one of only 100 of those little metal trading cards for cheaper than you actually get the regular bundle. So I'm hoping that'll kick some fire into the sales on there. We sold 50 of those packages, so there's 50 left. Cool. So that's worth checking out too, folks, if you can catch it. I'm still trying to keep it a little exclusive. Still give previous backers and the email signups time to figure out where finances are with this whole thing. It was a heck of a timing, that's for sure, for everything.
And here's an idea you stole from us. With the
a little bit. little bit. Coincidental, perhaps. But
it looks like a cool figure.
Yeah, I'm thinking so. We've got a 360 of the oh god, what do you call it? The master copy, what you make the molds out of. There's a 360 video at the bottom of the campaign page. Folks really want to check it out. But yeah, you'll be getting the cowboy figure, which we're actually again going to be available publicly through the Wicked Publishing web store for much cheaper than that price. Probably unassembled and unpainted. This is if you want me to spend about 8 hours painting a figurine really nice for you and making a certificate authentication that I painted this for you. Thank you so much, and you'll get everything in the steel as well.
That's pretty cool. No, I really like the figurines. I know how much those things cost to make. So.
Yeah.
Or at least I know how much we're paying, and we're getting a real good deal on it too. And it's still some money.
Yeah, it's definitely still some money. I lucked out my publisher was able to pull that, and then the reason I can sell these like this is because I'm hand painting them and making them limited.
Yeah. All right. I think I have. Did you give this pinup away?
Yes, that's one of the 6 pinups that are available again. Again, that one is by Paul Billick from Shinobi Sasquatch. He did the line art, not the colors, and he's the colors for Shinobi Sasquatch. J. Paul Sheik did the inks, and that Crafty Foxy did the colors. And it's a gorgeous pinup.
I think I have this one hanging on my library wall right now.
Awesome, very cool. I'm glad.
I got 2 for. So I think either you accidentally sent me an extra one.
No, some people we gave 2 because maybe your order came late or got hit, or my guy just wanted to give you 2. That was a thing that we were doing for a bit. Okay. Some people got 3. Some people, particularly folks who helped work on the book, got 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah. I remember saying, "Oh wait, I already got this." But no, it was cool because I remember I got 2 different pinups, I think. So yeah, I remember that. I know that one. I can't find the other one. I got it somewhere. It's still in the package, but I got that one hanging up on my wall right now. All right.
Oh, cool.
So let's see. How close are you to getting this funded? Or are you guys?
42% last I checked.
All right, you got 42% with 29 days. We can make this happen, guys.
I think so. That's why Hail Married redid the campaign page, made it more focused on the art and less on my jawing at folks and trying to give them as much information as possible. No, nobody's got time for that. Yeah. So I'm hoping. It's wonderful art. We've been proven to deliver. I've in particular learned quite a bit, but the whole team's learned quite a lot, and we've got a better expected delivery date, and we've got all the kinks worked out basically. And we are a safe bet if you're interested in what I call the best of the Weird Space West. If you're interested in an escape into imagination with a little bit of weight, maybe you'll come out thinking differently or thinking about something more at the very least. And with a badass character and great visuals and a quality book, paper quality. What'd you say? I liked our paper quality, but I'd rather ask a backer. What do you think?
I thought it was great.
All right. Yeah, I believe so too. I think it's nice, thick, good quality paper. But and the colors came out real good too, which was nice. But and again, that's why I was kind of like, he's got a chromium cover, or at least some kind of a metal themed cover. I got to figure out how he's pulling that, because I could do the prints, but then you have to find out how to get them bound to the books. Mm-hmm. So that's the thing I might have to ask Scott about, because that's the Steel Cowboy. If it doesn't have a metal cover,
oh yeah, absolutely,
I'm gonna be very confused.
All right, so. Let's see. All right, I'm good. Still all right. So all right, Jack Irons. Let's make sure, guys, if you're still watching, and if you're watching this at a later date, make sure you check this book out. Like I said, I got the first two, and they were awesome. They're fun. I'm really into the cowboy thing, so I really liked it. It was really up my alley. Check these guys out. Plus, they're over at Wicked Comics, which has a bunch of other cool comics too that they're getting. They've
been doing really good with that, and I'm excited. This summer it's going to be a really good con year, but not now. So we're all trying. The creators everywhere are trying to pivot and figure out how to adjust for that loss. But through us, we're going to be focusing on digital sales more, particularly there. So pay attention to the website. New stuff will come up all the time, and all kinds of new stuff from merch to books. There's a few others coming out. There's 2 manga coming out too, which will be interesting. They're adding to the library on that end as well. So it's an indie publisher with a lot of variety, and it's definitely worth a look.
Yeah, there's they got some cool stuff going over there. We were thinking about doing a con, for some of the overprints and stuff, and just to promote the second book and everything. And it looks like that's probably not going to happen now.
Yeah, I mean, they're being overly cautious, hopefully, and maybe it'll all blow out by, into April or something, and people actually, let it die instead of spreading it on purpose. But we'll see. We'll see. We're in America. We'll see.
I think
freedom is a big part of that.
I think it'll probably die. My theory is it'll peak in about 2 months. It'll probably die out for most of the summer. And then it'll probably come back in the fall, and from what I've been hearing, some of the other things, it's going to be one of these things that doesn't ever really go away. We're just kind of stuck with it, like a cold or the flu.
Yeah, we'll just get more built to dealing with it. That kind of makes sense.
I mean, they'll come out with a vaccine. It'll be just one more thing everybody's gonna get vaccinated against every year.
Yeah. Thanks, China. Thanks very much for your bioweapons.
Hey, stop being racist. Just because it was started there.
It's true. It's true. And just because it's quite possibly an engineered bioweapon.
Yeah.
No worries. It's totally fine. But no, folks, be safe, be healthy, and support artists if you can, or be willing to hustle your butt off if you are an artist, because it's going to be an interesting bit of time for everybody. Yeah. I mean, the whole service industry. I'm down to 5 hours a week now, just because they want to make sure I still have work. Mm. It's tough in the service industry for sure, folks. So, help where you can. A lot of folks work in the service industry and also artists. So now's the time to pivot towards their art and support when and if you can.
Yeah. All right. Hey, I want to thank you for coming on, and I want to thank everybody in the chat for showing up and checking us out. Make sure you're back in Chaotic Flux. Make sure you're checking out Jack Irons. And make sure you're definitely checking out Oddity Madness in the Marsh. We got another month left on that one. We got that cool Ethan cover, the jam cover with Sweens. And that's just an amazing looking cover.
Oh, that's pretty. It's pretty. And of course, Critter's colors are just wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
I adore his color work.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put that up here real quick just to give everybody a quick view. Let's see here. Because, we were stoked, completely stoked with this. So let's see. We've got the cover up here somewhere. Well, you can see it in the tier. There it is.
Ah.
There we go.
Yeah, so pretty.
Yeah. So this is let me make sure. There we go. Yeah. So that's the Sweens and Ethan Van Sciver cover. That thing's freaking amazing. $35 get you that, and that's gonna, like I said, that's gonna be a limited printing. It's only gonna be for this campaign, and we're only gonna print so many, just enough to cover everybody, cover some damages. We might overprint just a few more for a special deal that we're thinking about, but that might not even happen. So those might not. You're only gonna get the numbers that are there. And that'll be it. It's going to be a true collectible. So, definitely check out Oddity Madness in the Marsh. Check out Jack Irons. Check out Chaotic Flux. I'm going to go ahead and sign off for the night. Thanks again, Cody, for showing up. Thank you, everybody who came into the chat. Mike Miller as well, and everybody else. And y'all stay safe. Stay away from that Wuhan. And y'all have a good night.
Take care, folks, and thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.